Hello, this is Roxana from Metamorphosis Rocks, and today's message comes courtesy of the letter C for cleaning. And we're going to talk about cleaning your environment, cleaning your circle, cleaning whatever you feel cleaning means to you. And I'm going to give you an example. Every once in a while, I think I do it once or twice a year, I go by my social media platforms and I start taking out things. And what do I mean by that? I don't have a lot of friends on Facebook. It's not like I'm to my limit and I cannot add any more people. That doesn't happen to me. I have like 500 friends. Because I actually have, I would have to say about 90% of the people on my Facebook are actually people that I know in person. I decided from the get-go that my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, was going to be for personal relationships, and then I have business pages for whatever business or whatever venture or whatever book or whatever I'm working on. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because recently I have noticed, and I don't want to say it has to do with the election, but it kind of sort of does. And it's not because people voted against what I believed in, because I've had some very good friends that voted completely opposite of me, and I have not heard a peep from them. But that's because they're normal people. You have other people that won or lost and are either boasting or crying, depending on which side they were. And some of them, I understand their concerns, so I don't mind talking to them. Some of them, especially most of the gloating and a couple of the criers, it's like, ugh, just shut up and go away. And the people that are gloating are usually either racist or they're very insecure on what decision they make. And so I don't want to deal with them. The people that are crying, and I'm not talking about people that are seeing like legitimate concerns. I'm talking about people who would have cried no matter who won. Those people, it's like, you need to get a life. There's more important things right now than who the president of the United States is. There's a lot of more important things in life than who the president of the United States is. Me personally, I have bigger issues to deal with. I have a mom I have to deal with. I have my husband, my daughter, my dog, all of whom are in some stage of being sick. So I really need to have more important matters than who's in the White House and who's not. But here's the thing. Mostly twice a year, I go around my social media and I get rid of things, people, and you know how you can like different pages from different companies, and I go one by one and I look at them and I decide if I am going to keep them on or not. Now, in the case of Facebook specifically, because that's the one where I have personal friends, there are people that I'm going to remove, not because I don't like them, just because they don't post. So why am I going to keep you if you never post? And I'm not talking about people that don't post but read everybody's post and like everybody's post, or have a comment to make. I'm talking about people that are never on Facebook. So why am I going to keep that space for that person when I can just as well call them on the phone or email them and they'll answer, as opposed to keeping them on Facebook where they don't do anything? So those people are out. But this year in particular, I found myself reflecting on some of the people that I actually keep on my Facebook page. And this is not only friends, it's also family. And I started thinking, why am I keeping these people on my page? And I'm sure some of them are thinking the same thing. And why do I say that? When your views on life are so different from somebody else's, and it could be politically, religious, anything, that every single time they post something, you have to go and comment something opposite, maybe it's time for you to let go of that person. I have a friend who I love dearly, and every time he posted a comment, a friend from Puerto Rico would come in full combat mode, to dispel the myth of whatever my friend had posted. Now, mind you, we all happen to know that what my friend was posting was true, and what the other person was posting was propaganda. So, how do you deal with somebody like that? Well, it got to the point where the person got so offensive to all of my friends, other friends, that he had to take him out of Facebook. Um, and I'm not saying don't disagree ever, because I disagree with all my friends about one thing or another. What I'm saying is when pretty much every single thing you stand for is completely opposite to the other person, maybe it's time for you to let it go. We all have friends that either we grew up with, or we went to school with, or we worked in a certain place with, and we really don't have anything in common except for that experience. And that's beautiful, and it's over. So you need to let it go. Now, before you think that I'm just giving advice off my patukas and I've never done it, I'm going to give you a very simple example. I have a friend who married, and I'm going to be dead honest, who married a white American racist. There, I said it. And for some reason, my friend who came from the same country I came from, who is definitely not white, who definitely should not comment on things they don't understand anything about, decided that, I guess, since she married white, she now is white. And proceeded to make some very offensive comments to me and to some of her family members and other people that I know. And here's the thing. Loved her dearly for 30 years. As soon as I saw those comments, I said, this person and I have absolutely nothing in common. It's time to let her go. And I did. And even though, like I explained in the beginning, there's some people that I take off my Facebook just because they never post. And there's nothing, I love them dearly, and if they call me, I'll answer, and if they email me, I'll answer. And I do send them a message before I erase them. You never post here, so I'm just erasing you, but don't think it means that I'm erasing you out of my life. This person, I even bother. I just went ahead, blocked, unfriended her, blocked her. And I told, because other family members of hers are friends of mine, and I told them, do not speak to me about this person because I have no relationship with this person. Now, is that rude, mean, and no. There's an old expression that says some people are here for a reason, for a season, something like that. Not everybody's supposed to be your friend from beginning to end. First of all, you weren't born with any of your friends. So what makes you think that you have to keep them just because they were your friends at some point? Now, are you grateful if they helped you through something hard, or if you went through a very important part of your life with these people? Yeah, you're grateful. And you loved every minute of when you guys were in similar terms. But that's gone now. And you're no longer the same people you were before. Your life goals, your beliefs are not the same. So it's okay to let them go. And it's okay for them to let you go. I'm going to give you another, not so much an example, but just so you understand where I'm coming from. I was raised Catholic. And I was raised Catholic, and except for, of course, the sacrament of becoming a priest or dying, I've had every other sacrament, and I don't know if that's the word in English, but I know that's the word in Spanish, sacramento. I've had every other sacrament in the church, up to marriage. I've had the First Communion, the other one where you get slapped, obviously baptism, marriage. There's like 5 I've done. Okay. Oh yeah, the confession. I took a trip to Greece and Italy a few years back, and I don't think I'll ever forget it, because when I went to the Holy Grail of the Catholic religion, which is in Rome, which is where the Pope lives, I was already a little shocked by the amount of money that you have to spend on museum pieces, and I realized that many people donated all this stuff, so it's not like anybody's stealing from somebody. But, you know, with the money from one painting, you can probably feed an entire island if that was your goal. And then I went to I think they call it catacombs, which is where all the popes are buried. Now, John Paul II, which is the last big one that we had before the German, he had a little marble box with his name. That was it. That's appropriate because he was the Pope. Then we saw this one guy that had an entire room that he made them bring the entire room down to the catacombs and put him on the bed, and the whole thing is there. And I'm like, wow. And then I saw this other Pope who had a marble statue of himself sitting on a throne, like if he's God, with little children around him. And I gotta be honest with you, the first two things that came to my head was, number one, pedophile, and number two, you think you are God and you're not. So needless to say, when I came back home, I told my dad I was never going to church again. And except for maybe funerals and weddings, I have no intention of going to church again, because I have personally decided that I don't believe in organized religion. Now that doesn't mean I don't believe that there is something, a God or Mother Nature or whatever you call it, something bigger than us. It just means that I don't believe in organized religion. And the main reason why I don't believe in organized religion is because of something I just said 2 minutes ago, which is, with one painting you could have fed a whole island if that was your goal. And my problem with organized religion, there's two actually, but Christians and Catholics, which are the same thing but they don't want to admit it, they go and they do missions and they'll go and do all this good and blah blah blah, but they only do it because they want to get more souls for their church. And whoever denies this to me can kiss my butt, because you all know you do. You go on your mission with the Bible in one hand and you try to convince everybody around you to join your church. That's the reality of life. So you're not pure of heart going to help people. You're doing it because you want something out of them. It's not money, and that's fine, but having ulterior motives is not a good reason to do anything. Number two, the second reason why I don't really care for Christianity and Catholics. Well, Catholics haven't been that vocal about this, but most Christian churches have, is that they have the goal to get mad at Muslims because Muslims want to impose their religion when they do the exact same thing. But don't tell a Christian that, because they'll slap you upside the head. Ooh, that's not true. That's not what we do. Yes, it is. When you go to a country to start a mission, the first thing you do is you bring the Bible and you try to convert every single one of them to Catholicism or Christianism, or however you say it. Isn't that the same thing the Muslims are doing? They go to a country and try to convert all the infidels into Muslims. It's the exact same thing. Now, I'm not going to get into the stupidity of, because I did have somebody that said this once, oh, well, nuns don't have guns. I do believe there was a war. I don't want to say it was Ireland because I can't remember, but I do know that it had something to do with religion, and the religious leaders were the first ones trying to get guns to the country to fight the war. We also had the Crusades. Ooh, the Catholics had the Crusades. And pretty much every Christian organization I know has a series of books and movies that are banned from their constituents because they don't want them seeing that stuff. For whatever reason. Ooh, it's too dirty, it's too violent, whatever. So you're censoring free speech, depending on your church. You have fought wars, which are nothing like the Muslims. You're full of shit. And yes, I know I've never used that word on videos, but yeah, you're full of shit. Because you're giving me all this, ooh, Muslims are bad, Muslims are this, Muslims are that, but you do the exact same thing, but God forbid, oh yeah, I forgot, you people bomb abortion clinics, kill abortion doctors, because according to you, it's okay to kill an abortion doctor, but it's not okay for him to kill a baby. Because that makes sense in what planet, I don't know. It doesn't. So, going back to the original topic of this video. It's time to do a cleanse. I think around Christmas time is a great time to do this because everybody's in a good mood and people tend to take things well, and more importantly, normally the average person gets at least one present in Christmas, and I honestly believe in the rule that if you get one thing in, you should take one thing out. I do believe that there comes times in life when you have to sit down, think about your goals, think about what you want to accomplish in this world, and start thinking, okay, if I want to get to this point, are these the people, the resources, the things I need to have or own in order for me to get to that place? And if the answer is no, then you need to get rid of everything. Now, I'm not much for minimalism. I will never give up my books. But I started taking clothes and donating it to charity. I am selling some of the stuff that I own because I need to pay the rent. I am getting rid of pretty much everything. I would say 50-60% of what I own, because I do have 2 apartments in one right now, and I need to make sure I make the space pretty and acceptable. Plus, I'm decorating for Christmas. That's that disaster that you see there. I have a bunch of stuff that I have to figure out where I'm going to put it in the house. I even have those little pretend houses that I'm going to put in a village, and they're all over the place because I haven't set that up yet. But what I'm trying to say is, take advantage of the situation. If you're one of those people that likes to decorate for Christmas, take advantage of the situation, of the giving spirit, of the time of the year it is, of all the tragedies we've had lately, and start donating stuff. If you don't have need for it, like in my case, I need to sell some of it because I do need to make sure that I have some sort of savings, little fund. But if you don't have that, you don't need to take care of that. Go ahead and give it. What's used stuff to you is brand new to somebody else. And you would be amazed what people can do with the stuff that you no longer use. So get rid of everything, every person, every resource, every whatever you have in your life that is no longer serving you in any way, shape, or form. If the person in your life is just causing you grief, I honestly don't care if they're family or not. It's time to let them go. I am working on that right now. Any person that is not, that has no compassion or tolerance for anyone that is Muslim, member of the LGBT community, Hispanics obviously, or anybody that doesn't have any compassion and tolerance, I don't care how religious you say you are, I don't want you in my life. It's funny how I have a couple of friends that are atheists, and they're more compassionate and more tolerant of everybody else than the so-called Christian people that I have in my life. It's sad but true. So, again, if you see me taking you off my friend list, don't take it personally. It's not necessarily because I don't think you're a good person. It might be because you never post. And if you do and I just didn't notice it, please let me know so I can add you back. If you are racist, misogynist, any kind of discrimination in your life, if you think you're better than everybody else, bye. Because I don't want you in my life. And as far as comments on videos and things, and comments on posts I make, I don't mind if you disagree with me, but if you get rough with me or anybody else, be advised that I am going to delete your comment, and I am going to, report you, because we should all let everybody have their opinion, even if we think they're wrong. There's a difference between having an opinion and being a racist. There's a big difference. And if you don't know the difference between discriminating against somebody and having an opinion, you need to go back to school. I don't have time for you. I'm too old to be dealing with this right now. So, thank you very much for watching, and you have a wonderful day.